Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ryan Miller with Growth Stimulus Training. I'm checking in today with another Your Question, My Answer video. And today's question is from a person that's currently fighting a back injury. And what they're wondering about is how they can effectively train their legs or perform their GST squat day with their back injury. One thing that is important to consider when you're working around a back injury but you still want to work your legs is the fact that squats are just not going to be part of the equation for you right now. When you're injured, when your lower back is injured, the last thing you want to do is use your lower back muscles as a support system when you have that heavy barbell on your upper back. So what you're going to do is, ideally, you're going to have access to a leg press, and you're going to want to focus on a leg press as a core lift. This is going to be a great substitute for a barbell squat, and when you're doing it correctly, you're not going to have to support the weight with your back. The machine takes the support. The machine takes the role of being the supporter of the weight for you. A quick tip on the leg press is always keep your lower back arched, just as if you were squatting. You don't want to come down so deep that your lower back or your tailbone is pulled off the back pad, because what that's going to do is that is going to stress your lower back, and you will injure it further if you do that. So view it as a squat, keep your back arched, and only come down as deep as you can go by keeping your lower back on the bench. Once that comes off, that's too deep and you shouldn't be doing that. So when it comes to GST squat day, of course you have your heavy core lift, your main compound leg lift, and then you also have supplement lifts that are going to focus on the quads, glutes, and hamstrings. And how can you do that if you can't do a front squat, or if you can't do maybe another squat variation that most people typically do? Typically, I try to get people to do 2 different squat variations on their GST squat day. So what you can do is you can choose moves that are able to overload or provide a lot of resistance for the leg muscles without stressing the back, or actually without putting as much weight on your body as you typically would have to with a 2-legged squat. So that last comment, that 2-legged squat, is going to lead me into the fact that you want to do things that are one-legged or unilateral leg movements, such as lunges, stationary or walking barbell or dumbbell lunges, or the Bulgarian split squat, or a barbell or dumbbell step up, leg extensions, even single leg extensions for a finisher. All those movements are actually going to require the back to support less weight, because you're using less weight when you're working just one leg at a time. So I'm assuming that your back is able to support some weight here. If it can't, then you're dealing with a pretty serious back injury, but most of the times you're going to be dealing with a minor back pain, a lower back pain, and you will be able to support a decent amount of weight, usually enough that you can overload the muscles of the leg using a unilateral movement. So what I suggest is using the leg press as your core movement, and then working through 2 other movements, or 3. You could work in a lunge variation and a step up or a split squat variation, and then you could finish up with some leg extensions to really top off the quads and keep the back extra safe during those leg extensions too. So when it comes to performing GST squat day and targeting the legs through exercises that can be done with a lower back injury, that's the approach that I would take, and that should clear up any questions about how to work your legs while you're recovering from a back injury. So hopefully that helped you out. The person that asked me that question, it's actually not just one person. Multiple people ask that question because people injure their backs from time to time. It happens. It's just part of training, and everybody's gone through a slight back injury at some point. So this is another episode of Your Question, My Answer. I'm Ryan Miller with Growth Stimulus Training, and I will see you next time.